What's going on, everybody? C4 here. Welcome back to the channel, and today we're continuing the Madden 20 Realistic Rebuild series by going by the top community suggested team, because we're pretty much at the point now where I'm going to do what teams we have left, but in the order that you guys want to see them. And first up, we have a team without the first round pick that made and acquired a quarterback that I kind of want to play with, and they are a scheme that I think is quarterback friendly. Whatever quarterback you want to put in, I think will play well. We'll put that to the test, but I think much like the New Orleans Saints, it does seem like whatever quarterback the Chicago Bears have under center seems to excel and succeed here in the Madden 20 sim. So spoiler alert, we're doing the Realistic Rebuild 10 years with the Chicago Bears, trying to figure it out. You know, they're a tricky roster. They're definitely a tricky roster. We don't have premier picks because they made the trade to acquire Khalil Mack. Quarterback, we have Trubisky, who in Madden sense always plays really, really well, but they also made a trade for Nick Foles, and I'm going to indulge myself just to make it different right at the rip. We're going to make Nick Foles our starting quarterback because we know Trubisky's not that great, probably not ever going to redeem himself. He's pretty damn bad. So we're going to see if Nick Foles, with Matt Nagy, a guy that he's familiar with from his time in Kansas City, quick time in Kansas City, can be the franchise. Other than that, though, we're probably going to need to move on and find our long-term quarterback. Running back, we have Tariq Cohen and David Montgomery. So for, 1-2 punch, that should be our running back tandem for the foreseeable future. At wide receiver, we have Allen Robinson, who's an 89 overall superstar dev wide receiver. Age is pretty good. They got Taylor Gabriel, who's 28, final year of his contract. We got Anthony Miller, 76. What's Gabriel? What are these dev traits here? We got normal. Anthony Miller got a normal. He must have got downgraded. We have Cordero Patterson, more of a special teamer. We do know that you could cheese him and move him to running back, but we're not going to be in the business of doing that. But as far as, long-term options at wide receiver, Miller and Robinson for sure should be in our plans for at least the first 5 years of this rebuild. At tight end, reuniting with Nick Foles is Trey Burton, who in real life has kind of been underwhelming. But in Madden sense, it's not bad. 27 star dev, 82. We can utilize that. We can run him into the ground. Couple bodies behind him, Shaheen, Salbert. I don't really know if any of these guys have dev traits or anything like that. But, tight end's not a top priority for us trying to bring in here to the Chicago Bears right away. A little bit of the offensive line. We have Charles Leno, left tackle. He's 27-81. That's solid for the time being. Don't need to worry about that. We have James Daniel at guard. He should be here for all 10 years, ideally. He develops into an all-pro guard. Cody Whitehair, solid as well, 27-81. At right guard, we have Kyle Long, who did retire in this offseason, this upcoming one, so I don't know if we're only going to get a year out of him. And then at right tackle, we have Bobby Massey, who, from a Madden standpoint, looking at it overall, he's 30. Yeah, he's 76, which is meh. And then he has a huge contract, $16 million release penalty. So we're going to have to try and do our best and as soon as possible get his ugly contract off the books. Flipping to the defense, we got Akeem Hicks, really solid. But he's 29. Was he superstar? Only a star dev. We could probably run him to the ground, though. He should hold on to his rating fairly well, at least until that contract runs up, and then we'll be at that point in time where it's just probably have to let him walk. But for right now, we can utilize his veteran presence. Nichols is 74 with a star dev, a guy that should be a key player for all 10 years on the defensive side. D-tackle, we have Eddie Goldman, 84 with a star dev. Really, really solid. Age is ideal. We have Khalil Mack, one of the best players in the game. I don't know how overpowered he is in Madden. I don't really recall him, getting 17, 18 sacks like we see Myles Garrett do consistently, like we sometimes see Von Miller do. So I actually have no idea what to expect from Khalil Mack because we do know I have had my struggles with 3-4 defenses in the sim. I will make them a storm defense because that's how it works. That's how I've got it to get even somewhat realistic numbers. But we need big things from Khalil Mack because obviously he's the reason why we're not going to have any first-round picks to immediately improve this squad over the next couple seasons. Inside, we got Roquan Smith, future all-pro linebacker, I think. He's 22, 83 with a star dev. To pair with that, we got Trevathan Kwiatkowski, who actually bounced in free agency in his contract year here, went to the Raiders in real life. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm probably going to let him walk, but we'll make that decision because I actually think both Trevathan and Kwiatkowski are free agents. And if we obviously we're running a 3-4. We need 2 middle linebackers. I might let Trevathan walk and go with Kwiatkowski depending on the contracts. And our outside linebacker, we got Leonard Floyd and Aaron Lynch. Again, I think both these guys are in contract years as well. So let's see who produces. Leonard Floyd has kind of been underwhelming as a former first-round pick, but from a Madden standpoint, might have a little bit more upside as he does have the star dev. Secondary, we have Kyle Fuller, superstar dev, corner, 86 overall, only 27. so we should be good for the majority of part 1. Amu Kamara, a little bit more of a veteran option. Buster Skrine with a pretty ugly contract, trying to come in and replace Bryce Callahan. So I think this is definitely a position that we're going to need to focus on here in the secondary to find some long-term partners with Kyle Fuller. Free safety, we have Eddie Jackson, baller. Strong safety, we have Clinton-Dix. He was pretty much here on a 1-year rental. Now a new member in real life with the Dallas Cowboys. What is he, 80 star? I mean, we actually might re-sign it depending on what the contract looks like. Usually in free agency here in Madden 20, as you've seen through countless videos, safeties contracts are usually generous unless they're like an X factor. So, you know, re-signing Clinton-Dix might very well be in the cards. Special teams, you got Pinero, one of the best kickers I've ever seen at Florida. Probably the best kicker I've ever seen come through the University of Florida. And you have Pat O'Donnell. I'll never forget his insane combine. So that is the lay of the land here for year 1 of the first 5 of the realistic rebuild of the Chicago Bears. Really, the only thing you need to know is that under center, we are going with BDN himself, Mr. Nick Foles. Got off to a great start to the season. We did get a superstar dev trade for Tariq Cohen, which is phenomenal because we need more playmakers on this offense. So from our bye week here, we're 2-3. It's not great, not where we want to be, but you know, this first year is a developmental period for sure. And Nick Foles has got last week 5 touchdowns. He was offensive player of the week, so hopefully we can continue to build that. We got a breakout scenario here for Trey Burton. What's he want? Probably 150 yards, 3 touchdowns, because I think he's already a star. That's going to be pretty tough. I don't think I'm going to hop in, because obviously I hopped in and get Tariq Cohen his dev trait. And we got Leonard Floyd trying to finally turn that corner in his career. 200 yards, that's totally doable. But it's against the Saints team that's pretty goddamn tough. So looking at contracts here, we're going to kind of keep it, like I said, you know, when we do these realistic rebuilds, we're not following how everything exactly played out in real life with the free agency moves, because obviously looking at this, I know Kwiatkowski went to the Raiders. They re-signed Trevathan. Clinton-Dix is now on the Cowboys. But looking at this, I mean, first up, Clinton-Dix, 3-year deal. Oh my God, we have negative salary cap? All right, we're not signing anybody. So at the end of year 1, we found a way to squeak into the playoffs via the wild card. We have an NFC North title, and we're coming off a very clutch divisional victory in Week 17 over the Vikings, where Khalil Mack was NFC Defensive Player of the Week, 8 tackles with 2 sacks. So we came into this knowing that, much like New Orleans, Chicago is a very quarterback-friendly system. However, was not expecting that. 4,700 yards, 40 touchdowns to 17 picks for Nick Foles. I played 1 game, and it was to run the ball with Tariq Cohen for 150 yards. That's all I did. This is 98% what the sim does. And I'm proud to see it. Nick Foles, unreal. Probably got himself a dev trade, even though he's most likely going to regress. I mean, he's only 30, maybe not. I don't know, but that's unreal. That's an unreal season from Nick Foles, BDN. We got over 1,000 yards, 9 touchdowns for our new superstar running back, Tariq Cohen. 7 touchdowns for Montgomery, so it's kind of a smash and dash combination. On the receiving standpoint, over 1,000 yards, 8 touchdowns for Allen Robinson. 8 and 3 from Tariq Cohen. 8 and 9 for Anthony Miller of the slot. Almost 8 and 5 from Trey Burton at tight end. 750 and 6 from Gabriel. On the defensive side, Roquan Smith, 121 tackles, 8 TFLs, 8 sacks. That's huge production. 18 sacks, 14 TFLs from Khalil Mack. Thing of beauty. Leonard Floyd, 17 TFLs, 6.5 sacks. I have no money to resign anybody because the way that he's playing, I would definitely at least attempt to. Hicks, 16 TFLs as well. Interceptions look fine. Looking at the yearly awards, MVP went to Tom Brady. Of course it did. Nick Foles, 40 touchdowns all the way down at number 9. It's pretty brutal. NFC Offensive Player of the Year went to Aaron Rodgers. Nick Foles coming in at 6. Defensive Player of the Year went to Khalil Mack. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Daniel Jones. Nick Bosa for individual awards. Probably not going to have anyone outside of Khalil Mack, who was the best linebacker. Roquan Smith, runner-up there. So the linebackers, we're getting back to the Soldier Field. Do they have a nickname? I can't remember. The Monsters of the Midway. There we go. Here in year 1, starting off with a divisional title. Let's see. Nick Foles. If you're a Bears fan, you should just hope that find a way to get the playoffs and hope to God the Nick Foles magic can lead you to a Super Bowl we're gonna have to run the gauntlet, and it starts here against the 10-6 Panthers. All right, we're going to find out real quick how Nick Foles plays in the sim. I hope he's a god, as he should be, at least in the playoffs. One of the best. You look at all the quarterbacks in the NFL right now. If you are a team, if you had an injury to your starter, and you had to pick any quarterback in the National Football League, Nick Foles probably top 5 to go on a Super Bowl run. Let's be honest with each other. You know, you put Brady in there, probably put Aaron Rodgers in there, Mahomes in there. And then you start getting into the logjam of like, well, am I going with a good player that's never really done before? Or am I going with a guy that's somehow found a way to do it before? And that's when you start talking about that guy with that over-the-shoulder boulder holder for his, like, you know, in his loins, in Mr. Nick Foles. And he's playing pretty damn well here as he gets a 31-24 victory, playing lights out, man. I love the fact that the Bears have Foles, and the Bears are a Madden 20 just QB's dream. 350, 3 touchdowns, 73% completion percentage. Nick Foles is gearing up for a run, baby. Round 2 of the playoffs, we have the New Orleans Saints, a team that Nick Foles, with a very undermanned Philadelphia Eagles, was an Alshon Jeffrey drop away from knocking off when he's last year with the Eagles. So we're playing pretty well. I'll tell you right now, if we win this game, because the Saints are so OP in the sim, we might just have a little Nick Foles magic. Which would be, honestly, that'd be like my favorite video I've made this year. Is that if I can find a way, if we can win a Super Bowl this year with Nick Foles, after throwing 40 touchdowns in the regular season, it might be my greatest achievement to date, at least in the Realistic Rebuild series. So here we go. We are skunking almost a 40 bomb on the New Orleans Saints. 37-27. Nick Foles is just outplayed Drew Brees like he outplayed Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. 344 yards, 3 touchdowns, 75% completion percentage. So I can only imagine these 6 touchdowns, no picks on this run as the Bears are heading to the NFC Championship game in year 1 of the 10-year realistic rebuild. So we're in a very unlikely championship game. It's against the New York Giants. Was not expecting. So because it's kind of weird, a weird opponent, I'm going to Papa Bear this one a little bit. If I need to come in, I will, because I really want at least just to make the Super Bowl, you know? So I really probably should have came in there. It's a 10-10 game. Things aren't getting too cheesy. We're remaining competitive here. It does feel like if some team can get a 2-score lead, this game is going to be over. So we're going to come in right now. This will be our 1 chance. 3rd and 5. It's in the snow. I hate playing snow games because my guys just, I mean, it is the nature of the beast, but I find that my players, more than anyone, it's just so easy to throw in like, oh, look, he slipped. Isn't that funny how realistic that is? And then you just like, I hate my life. Come on. Come on. Someone come back to the ball. We'll throw it there. This is the Miller. And he makes the grab. And he dives in. Horrific tackling from the New York Giants. 2nd touchdown of the game for Anthony Miller out of the slot. And that probably does. How could they not tackle? I know his agility's not too bad. But he looked like Tariq Cohen out there. Oh, no. They're going for it on 4th down. Okay, we got to come in. They're going on 4th down. They didn't burn a timeout for some reason. Ballsy. We got Akeem Hicks. Akeem Hicks gets after Daniel Jones. Turnover on downs. And how fitting. In the snow, the Bears defense is the reason they'll be making an appearance in the Super Bowl. Nick Foles, decent game. 200 yards, 2 touchdowns. Almost 100 on the ground from Tariq Cohen. The Bears are going to the Super Bowl in year 1. The Super Bowl has been set. 2 teams known for the reputation of their defense, but now have shifted to the offensive side of things. The Ravens and the Chicago Bears. No touchdowns. We've made a couple runs here and settling for field goals, and just like that, it just takes 1 touchdown to make all that work. Not really worth it. So here we go. We're going down the field. Would love to equalize. Down 1. Get another trip in the red zone. 3rd down, I'm coming in. This will be my 1 play. I play the whole game. 3rd and goal. On the 3, you already know what play we're going to run. There's only 1 play that you really should run, and I hope to God it's Tariq Cohen and not David Montgomery in the backfield. But it is David Montgomery, because for whatever reason, which I disagree so much with Madden, they say this is a power play, which is not, but still, it's so effective. David Montgomery bounces to the outside. The Ravens weren't expecting that, have never seen the Bears run a toss play like that before. Come on. Come on, Nicky. Come on, Nicky. Get the job done. Oh, this is looking good. This is looking good. Just any points. Any points right now. When we get the touchdown, Nick Foles in year 1. Getting traded from the Jacksonville Jaguars. Pennies on the dollar because the Jaguars want to go with that hippie that looks like Uncle Rico living in a van down by the river. Year 1 of the Bears rebuild. With Nick Foles under center, he throws for 40 touchdowns in the regular season, is lights out throughout the playoffs, Super Bowl run, running the gauntlet, and we won a Super Bowl. This is going to be a success. I already can't thank you guys enough. I'm having some issues right now, and this is exactly what I needed. It's issues in real life. It's nothing, you know, emotional. It's literally physical. My eyes, for some reason, are all messed up. I got this glare that won't go away, and obviously with all this Corona stuff, seeing Nick Foles win Super Bowl MVP, his second. He's the GOAT. Nick Foles is the GOAT. He came in, supplanted Mitchell Trubisky, Mr. Biscuit as the starter in 1 year, is literally the greatest quarterback the Chicago Bears have ever had. So we got to make sure he hoists that Super Bowl trophy up there. All right, I got to figure out, probably squeeze that into the thumbnail somehow, because that is a sight to behold. Yeah, there you go, Chicago. I made you guys relevant for the first time since like 1985. Now, we have 9 years left to go. Let's make them a dynasty. What better way than at the end of year 1 to follow up your playoffs with, oh, we're $26 million in the red. We got to cut some guys. On offense, we'll get rid of Taylor Gabriel, so we're losing our wide receiver 2. We're getting rid of Cordero Patterson. So that's about, you know, it's a couple million. We got a bunch of these, don't we? Your practice squad. Look, that's like $5 million right there. Okay, I'll get us under the cap. Okay, so we literally did all of the moves that the Bears did in real life, minus Leonard Floyd, who we still have on our roster, and we got $9 million worth of cap. You know, we're coming off a Super Bowl. You want to stay on top of things, keep things fresh, but when you're this fragile against the salary cap, I don't really want to be spending any money until we can get some stability to our salary cap. And there's really, looking at these top players, no one that's really that big of an upgrade. I mean, we need a strong safety. Probably could find one in the draft. Von Bell, Clinton Dix there, yeah. We'll be able to find one in the draft. Maybe a corner. But what kind of, you know, we don't want to bring and splurge top tier dollar on a corner. There's no one here that's like under 25 that is a scheme fit. So, you know, we're going to go heavy in the secondary. Corner and safety is where we're going to be looking for the draft. Oh, I do feel like we should try to land a corner here, though. Wukamara, Verrett. Like, what's Mosley to his zone? He's pretty damn close to his zone. 76, 24, 20, keep him until he's 29, 28. Give him a let's give Mosley a little bit of like a low bar offer here, just because I can in good conscience when we see there's a whole bunch of guys that are, you know, 75 plus, and our second corner is 69. We don't have a first round pick. Let's at least land a solid guy that if we have to, we could throw him to the Wolves and he could start next year. So look at our draft recap. Obviously, didn't have a lot of premier picks here, so we had to try to do the best with what we had. In the first round, we needed a new strong safety to fill Clinton Dix role. And we got Jeremy Chin from Southern Illinois, 69 overall, normal dev, great rating, dominate the combine, small school player, very athletic, should be pretty good for us. Second round pick, we got a Meek Robertson, should be day one slot, 70 overall, normal dev, super aggressive. I'm higher on him than most when it comes to this draft. He really does remind me of, like, kinda, if I had to get like a pro comp, he gives me a lot of Honey Badger vibes. So I think he's actually be a really, really good player. Fifth round slipping, Jalen Rager, wide receiver, TCU, 69 overall, great speed, really good explosiveness, going to be able to be a contributor on special teams. We got Stenberg, guard. We got Logan Wilson, linebacker from Wyoming. We'll have to move him inside. And then we get David Dowell in the 7th round, depth, safety. But no good depth traits, but we get some pretty good overalls. So after really being handicapped in our post-Super Bowl hangover offseason, couldn't really sign anyone. We're still looking pretty good. The 84 overall squad. As far as the offense is considered, not much in terms of changes. Nick Foles got a dev trait, going from normal to a star for his 40 touchdowns last season, Super Bowl MVP. Stenberg, we're on the 65 overall right guard. Less than ideal, for sure. We have like no depth on the offensive line. We'll get Jalen Rager. We'll find him to get ways to get the ball. We'll push him up the depth chart there just a little bit. We'll put him ahead of Riley Ridley. It'd be really our wide receiver 3. Defensively, bunch of young guys, new faces will be playing. We got Mosley and Robertson will be playing at corner, significant snaps. We'll have Logan Wilson, probably flex him to linebacker there. And Jerry Chin will be starting at strong safety. So we're gambling that a lot of these young guys can hit the ground running, won't be shook, getting thrown to the wolves as rookies, because it's the kind of thing you got to do when you start the offseason. $26 million in the red. Let's get into year 2, try to defend our Super Bowl. Coming out from our bye, 3-3. Not the best start, but we're tied for first in the division. Nick Foles, first in yards, first in touchdowns. So that's awesome. As far as contracts are concerned, I have no idea where our salary cap is at, but looking at the board, would definitely want to re-sign the first 2 guys. First up, Allen Robinson, 4-year deal, $64 million. That's going to be a tight one. Tariq Cohen has easily been our most explosive player on offense, so we get him locked up. Floyd's replaceable. Pretty much everyone else on this list is replaceable. I might try to bring back Pinheiro, but even that's kind of expensive over 2 years for a kicker. You gotta pay your due diligence here. But we definitely will come back to the table with Allen Robinson, offer maybe $66 million, somewhere in that territory. That should be enough to get that deal done. And at the end of year 2, we got a bye. Defending our Super Bowl, we come in at 11-5. I can only imagine. I mean, we checked at the halfway point. Nick Foles was first and first. It's gotta be insanity, right? Let's just figure out before that who we're taking on to defend our Super Bowl title. We got 11-5 Panthers. I'm pretty sure they're one of the teams we had to beat. We beat last year on our Super Bowl run. So let's just see. Nick Foles, 40 touchdowns, 41. Not first, but first in yards, 4,800. Oh my God, what is with this? Is it the Bears playbook or is it just the Bears themselves? 41. That's better than last year, right? Nick Foles, 40. I mean, that's the course. That is what you do in the Bears system. That's insanity. Why is it like this? Under 1,000. I mean, combined, pretty good 1-2 punch there. We had 1,300 yards, 9 touchdowns for Miller, 1,007 for Allen Robinson, 930 and 5 for Trey Burton, 650 and 7 for the rookie Jalen Reagor. Probably puts him in pretty good contention for offensive rookie. He's gonna be in the mix. 508 Tariq Cohen. Shaheen also had 5 touchdowns. Defensively, Roquan over 100 tackles. We have 15.5 sacks, Khalil Mack, 10 from Leonard Floyd. 7, this guy, Joel Ayugbonwe. He had a big-time season for sure. 2 picks, Amik Robertson, yearly awards, MVP, Ryan Tannehill. Nick Foles just getting no respect. Cannot crack these these guys aren't having... I mean, obviously, Tannehill probably had more touchdowns, but why is Nick Foles constantly at 5? That makes no sense, dude. NFC Odds Play of the Year, Nick Foles, 3rd. There's no way rating has anything to do. What did Tannehill do? We got 48 and 41. I mean, literally, we talked about the 2 offenses coming in this video. The Saints and the Bears are broken. And there, of course, I mean, he did have the rushing touchdowns, I guess. Again, Ryan Tannehill playing out of his mind. We had the #1 offense in the NFL. Keep on keeping on here. We had no one for these awards, which is a little surprising. Nick Foles, hey, finally, quarterback of the year, Mr. Nick Foles. Should go up to a superstar dev. Khalil Mack, linebacker of the year. As we get ready to defend our Super Bowl title, it starts here. We don't have to run the gauntlet this year in the divisional round against the 11-5 Carolina Panthers. Okay, it's a snow game. Neither team really, you probably would give the Bears a slight advantage in the bad weather. Slight. They get snow sometimes in Carolina, don't they? So let's go, man. We know Nick Foles can dominate in the sim. He was very good last year when we won the Super Bowl and all the games. I think we had to come in once and throw 1 touchdown once. So let's see if we can go on a run here because we don't know how many good years of Nick Foles we're going to get, you know? Let's get a touchdown here. Let's get some points here so that we can get the ball back and find a way to win. 40 seconds to go. Oh, my God. Okay, if I come in, the clock runs out, I'm going to be so mad. Give me 1 play. 1st and 10. And I hate you, Madden. I hate you, Madden. Clean game, Nick Foles, 350 yards. Just not good enough. And all said and done. Big game, Anthony Miller, 150 yards. Try to wash that bad taste of losing the playoffs out of our mouths. We do have $5 million. I guess there's no room. We're not going to be able to sign anybody. It's going to be you know, let's be honest, Nick Foles has an ugly even though Nick Foles is worth every penny right now. You have Nick Foles and Khalil Mack on your team. That's like 30 your cap. So we're not going to be able to sign anyone this year. For our final draft of real players, here's our draft haul. In the first round, we got our new outside linebacker to come in and replace Leonard Floyd, and that is Merlin Robertson from Arizona State. 72 hidden dev. We'll just flex him out right now to right outside linebacker, where he's going to be taking over Mr. Leonard Floyd. And should still be a scheme fit. Yep, at speed rusher. Quarterback, it's, you know, even though Nick Foles definitely went up a dev trait superstar, we need to start playing for the future. So we got here Alan Bowman, 71, rookie quarterback, Texas Tech, hidden dev as well, 94 throw power. Maybe not as good as the last legit Texas Tech pro prospect in Patrick Mahomes, but I think he is really underrated right now, and I'm sure once next year's college football season begins, Alan Bowman will be a very well-known name. We got Asante Samuel Jr., yes, the son of legendary Eagle and Patriot Asante Samuel in the third round. We have Mustafa Johnson, D-end, in the fourth. Jordan Scott, nose tackle depth. And then Evan McPherson, the kicker from Florida, in the seventh round. So debatably a starter for sure, and maybe the successor to Nick Foles. Year 3 here is the year. Great start, C4. Year 3 is here for the Bears. This is how we're looking. So Nick Foles up to a superstar dev, and we have a successor, but I feel like this is going to be a quarterback. We could literally probably go with, okay, maybe not that extreme, but, you know, it's you know, we got the succession. We're not going to fall into what happened in the last rebuild. If you haven't checked it out, go get it, because we got fired. Spoiler alert, we actually got fired for the second time in the realistic rebuild with the Detroit Lions, but we stuck with Matt Stafford without having a legit constituency plan behind him. We whiffed on a couple superstar X-Factor QBs. So we're not going to mess around. Bowman, I don't know what his depth chart is. It's probably star. But at least it's something that's behind Nick Foles. Because you never know when Nick Foles is just going to be decided to be like, you know, a 63 overall next offseason. Something like that. O-line, the right-hand side is not great. But the rest of the offensive line, the whole is as good. We'll make Rager our third wide receiver there. Flip into the defense. Front three remains the same. Secondary remains the same. You know, literally Chin's developing nicely. Robertson maybe a little slower than expected, but still a solid player. This guy, Joel Ayigbanue. He actually played really, really well last year and earned himself the starting middle linebacker gig. We got Mack on one side, first round pick. Merlin Robinson will hold the other. We're feeling good, and we're gonna go as long as Nick Foles keeps slanging 40 touchdowns a year. We're gonna be finding and buying our way to the playoffs every single season. A random dev trade here for Manuel Mosley. Cool. And boy, did the wheels ever fall off this year. 1-7. Really going to be testing the clout we got from that Super Bowl victory to remain in. Where's Foles at? Foles is still not playing that bad. I was expecting it to be like the worst quarterback. You know, him actually playing like a 74. And he's still playing like a top 10 quarterback. So, not exactly sure. But we got, we got Kyle Fuller here. He's now a superstar X Factor, 1-year deal for sure. James Daniels. Going to be one of the better guards in the NFL. You can give him even a 6-year deal. 6 years, about $10 million a year. Anthony Miller got a superstar dev. I don't know where that came from, but hell yeah, get you locked in. Nichols is also fairly solid. Give you a 5-year deal, under $5 million cap hit, long term. Maybe we try to bring back Joel Ayibonui. Burton's old, Hicks is old. Yeah, we got to get a little bit younger here, for sure. I did indulge myself 1 week to get Allen Robinson an X Factor. Okay? Cat's out of the bag this 1 week. Because we need something positive because this year's an absolute wash. Year 3, first year we failed to make the playoffs. Bottom dwellers in the NFC North. I don't really know how we got here, to be completely honest. But we're here. We are here. Dev trades, Bowman came out star dev. Kind of expected that's about the range that he would be at. We got Allen Robinson and X Factor, just so we finally had one of these guys on our offense. Merlin Robinson came out superstar dev, though. That is unreal. Great pairing to have with Khalil Mack. We did also have a dev trade for Emmanuel Mosley. Shout out to the CPU for actually, for once, giving me a dev trade on the defensive side of the ball. Mosley went from normal to a star, and he's actually developing into a really, really nice-looking player. So, let's kind of find out where it went wrong. It definitely probably wasn't Nick Foles. Top 5 quarterback in the NFL, 4,400 yards, 37 touchdowns. The picks have always been kind of high, and his percentage has dropped this year. But that still is one hell of a year from Nick Foles. Rushing attack's been limited. Allen Robinson, 1,200 yards, 9. We got 8 and 7 for Miller, 7 and 6 Riley Ridley. Cohen's been actually really productive with the backfield. Roquan and Joel, that's what we're just going to call him from now on. Oh, yeah, they both had pretty nice years. 19 sacks, Khalil Mack. I like seeing that. 4 picks from Emmanuel Mosley. 3 from Meek Robinson. 2 from Jeremy Chin. Yearly awards, MVP went to Lamar Jackson. In the AFC, Russell Wilson is your Offensive Player of the Year. Nick Foles at number 10. Defensive Player of the Year went to Khalil Mack. Rookie of the Year went to Justin Fields. Defensive Player of the Year went to Dylan Moses. Robinson coming in number 3. Quarterback Fields for individual awards, probably just Khalil Mack. Which it is, but he's your best linebacker yet again. So year 3, a little bit of a wash. Let's get into year 4, quick turnaround. Hopefully we can sign someone. Joke's on me, we're in the red. I don't even want to show you what we had to do. You know, most annoying thing right now for roster management in terms of Madden 20 is, for whatever reason, if you just don't sign your practice squad guys, they just sign like 10 wide receivers. All 10 of our wide receivers were on like $1 million contracts. So we're able to free up a little bit of money here, enough that we could go in. Nothing too crazy. I'm not expecting, you know, there's a good chance we don't get him, but I want to try to get Mo Hurst, you know, paying a little bit of homage to the original Madden 20 Raiders series. See if we can bring him in, convert him to defensive end, and have him get after the quarterback. Shit. Our draft was pretty eventful. We somehow, not somehow, we were bad last year. We had the number 2 pick in the draft, so we had countless spots we could have gone. And we went defensive end. He's just a scheme fit for what we're looking at end. A 3-4 end, 6'3", 318. Ross Woodard from Auburn, 77 overall, hidden dev. Looks pretty damn good, pretty damn impressive across the board. Second round, we got Dre Young, 74 normal dev corner. This is a quarterback. I was like, man, I'm not going to draft a quarterback. We got Alan Bowman to be the successor. This guy here was like, I had early first round grade on him. I was like, if he's still in the 3rd round, I might as well get him. He comes at 78 overall, which is the highest base overall head of quarterback. The normal dev to kind of worsen things. Like, I think Bowman's 76 star. If you have a 76 star and a 78 normal, and he's a year older than Bowman, like I don't know, man. This is gonna be a guy right away. I think we're just gonna sign and trade him. See if we can find someone else that wants to trade for. I mean, from a player standpoint, it looks pretty good. 96 throw power, 87 mid accuracy. But I don't know, man. I don't know what to do with that. We get a 70 tackle, the whitest Jamarcus I've ever seen, you know? This is a solid draft. And actually, Ziegler, we'll go Ziegler. Might actually have a chance to start at one of our tackle spots. 70 overall rookie out of Central Florida. Blockbuster trade. We take Clemens, like I said, man. Sign and trade. We don't need him. We send him, Riley Ridley, and a 4th round pick to the Raiders for Foster Moreau, 25, 79 overall tight end. I'm not sure what the dev trade is. I think it's normal, but our current, we don't have any tight end on the roster right now, so we needed one, and we were able to recoup and get a future 1st round draft pick. Obviously, the Raiders, hopefully they got a franchise guy here in Clemens. Year 4 for the Bears. And, I mean, we aren't coming to the end of Nick Foles, but we got him up to a superstar X Factor, which is, we got a Super Bowl, we made him an X Factor. Someone that's never really got to play with Nick Foles really since he won the Super Bowl for the Eagles in a Madden sim. I'm glad this turned out the way it has. We got Bowman waiting in the wings. We have a long-term option there. As you can see, Meyer was our only tight end, so we're able to flip our quarterback for a really solid starting tight end. We'll probably have to sign him, though. He's probably in a contract year, if I had to guess. The offense, we are hurting at tackle for sure. I don't know if I can find a way to trade for a tackle, but I really don't want to trade for tackles, knowing how easy it is to draft them. That'd just be, you know, it's going to be it's going to be a little bit painful. Maybe we can hit the free agency market. Is there anyone on the wire here? Some great, hey, if we need a running back, we got Calvin Anderson, 70, Simpson. We'll grab him. We'll get Anderson and we'll flip him. At least he's better than what's the other guys in like the 60s, right? I can go with 270 tackles, you know. I've seen worse. I've seen a lot better. But I still have like this just notion that offensive line, when in the grand scheme of things, when you're simming, O-line does not mean it a lot. But there we got 270s now. It looks a little bit better. Flipping to the defense, Woodard, the 1st round picks, to be starting at defensive end. Big expectation for him. For the love of God, please be something better than a star dev. And other than that, I mean, our corners are developing nicely. Chin's got itself a brand new dev trait going from normal to a star. So things are looking good on the defense. I'm optimistic that if this is the final year of Nick Foles, we can go on a playoff run here in year 4. We're not even going to wait to free agency just because I hate this one. We traded for him right away. We got Moreau, so let's get him here on a 4-year deal, $15.5 million, so that by the time we utilize him as the #1 tight end, he's like an 82, 83 overall. Whenever that buy comes, we're going to shave off a couple million getting this contract done early. So the midway point here of the season, we're 3-4-1, which is not really that great. Nick Foles is still dominating, but I feel like now it's time. Nick Foles would know. We did everything we can do with Nick Foles. We got to do an X factor. We got to pass the torch. We're going with a young quarterback, and we traded away a 78 young rookie. Let's see what Bowman can do. We know he should excel in this scheme, but I mean, we plateaued with Foles. We literally did everything. We got to do an X factor. We made him one of the best quarterbacks. He got 81 touchdowns in 2 years. Won a Super Bowl. Got another Super Bowl MVP. Let's hand the rings out to Bowman. This season's not quite going the way we want it to. We're probably on the outside looking in. Let's see what the kid can do. Looking at contracts here, we got Roquan Smith. Definitely want to hammer out a long-term extension with him. Fuller. We're kind of lacking at depth at corner right now, so that 1-year deal, we will take that. Goldman. We get him something like a 2-year, short-term. Again, all these guys are trying to bend us. And Nick Foles wants the contract. We're going to need to let him ride off in the sunset. So we'll try to get short-term deals for Fuller and Goldman. At this point in time, we can probably let Montgomery walk because we just go with Cohen. And 100%, we got to get Roquan signed up long-term. And surprisingly enough, here in year 4, making that quarterback change was enough for the ugliest record in the playoffs. 8-7-1. The Bears to sneak in with our new play caller, Alan Bowman. It's up to an 81. What's the confidence? +2 confidence? +2 confidence. What else were you expecting? With the 2 worst starting tackles in the league, looking pretty good. Of course, Woodard came out star dev. He was hidden dev. Felt like a star all along, but he's up to an 83. Really solid playmaker. Statistically, let's see what's going on here in year 4. Bowman played 10 games, I think. Obviously, on pace. You know, if that was Nick Foles playing all, if Nick Foles came 39 touchdowns, would we just be surprised? Absolutely not. But pretty good production for him. Running the ball, again, it's been inconsistent. 1,000 yards, 12 touchdowns, Allen Robinson, 975 and 12 for Rager. Moreau came in almost 900 yards. So that's well worth the trade, I think, what we made to acquire him from the Raiders. Roquan Smith, a bunch of huge year. 128 tackles, 7 sacks, 2 picks. We got 12 sacks, Khalil Mack. 3 picks from Joel. Love that. Yearly awards, MVP went to Russell Wilson. In the NFC, Russell Wilson. Defense player, Eric Kendricks. Callaway, Woodard. Nice. Defensive Rookie of the Year honors. For the rest of the individual awards, Roquan Smith finally beats Khalil Mack. You get the best linebacker. That'd be dope if that gets him up to an X Factor dev trait. And McPherson was the best kicker in the league. As somehow here in year 4 for the Bears, we made the playoffs. And this might bite us in the ass. You gotta do it. Yeah, if you're going on a run, his final year, you gotta put Nick Foles back under center. Okay. What are we talking about here, Nick Foles? We're talking about your destiny. We're talking about your reputation. Okay? You can do it. I believe in him. It's Minnesota. It's a rivalry game. No Bear fan wants the Vikings to succeed in the playoffs, let alone at their own expense. So let's go Nick Foles. I mean, our defense doing their job. 0 points, pitches a shutout for the first half. But then again, our offense not doing much better. Wish Bowman would get out there at this point, but we got to trust and believe Nick Foles will find a way to get this done. Our defense has been amazing, and they finally give up a touchdown here, but Nick Foles back against the wall, able to go down and get a tutty himself. What has happened to our defense? The Nick Foles instant touchdown. He responds. I was going to say our defense gave up 0 points, and then we just gave up 2 touchdowns in the 4th quarter, but still Nick Foles puts on a clinic, 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, 76% completion percentage. And the Bears, they're ready to run the gauntlet here on the back of Nick Foles. Divisional round against the Seattle Seahawks. Oh, you don't think for 1 second Nick Foles got to lose to Russell Wilson, do you? Russell Wilson with a turnover. We've had 2 red zone attempts in the 1st quarter, both settling to field goals. I'm not feeling overly confident about that. And another field goal attempt, 3 field goals. This one's over. They're getting touchdowns. We're getting field goals. There's only so much trust you can have in Nick Foles. Hey, there we go. We do get a tutty. Nice. Down 5 in the 2nd half. Seahawks do seem to have all the momentum, but you can't cut out Mr. Nick Foles, Mr. Nicholas. Big Pickleous, oh my God. Come on, D. Defense has crippled us, man. They have not been able to come up when we need to, but no West. Nick Foles. Yeah, we win. How do we win? Why did they just kick a field goal? Oh my God, Nick Foles is a rebuild legend. 5 touchdowns, a shootout with Russ. Just in case. You guys trust me by now. It's been 3 years. But just in case you thought there was some shenanigans. Nick Foles is this good as the Bears continue on and have bought their tickets to the NFC Championship game. Okay, here we are. It's like this person in the sim here is working for me. What stands between Nick Foles and like another improbable run is the Dallas Cowboys. If there's one way we could have Nick Foles get us back in another Super Bowl, it will be him putting on a clinic and beating Dallas. Now, Dallas is always really, really well-built roster. Look, we got a touchdown. They get an instant tutty there. And we're going to go in at the half, down a touchdown. Dallas starting to pile on us here just a little bit. I'll come in if need be here, if we get an opportunity to try and win it. And they're stalling out. 3rd down. Here we go. We'll come in. We'll come in, try to tie this. 3rd and goal on the 8. It'll have to be a pass. Let's get inside the shotgun here. Oh, I don't care. I'm going slants. We'll go slants out the rip. We got Allen Robinson. That's probably going to be our primary read there in the middle. Oh! Oh! 50. I don't know who that is. Just got a hand on. We're going for it. I'll go slants again. Get me in here. Oh, these. Yeah, let's go. Let's go 4 verts on the 8. Idiot. Let's, so like slant, we need, let's go stick route. So I want Tariq Cohen out the backfield here. We're probably still gonna eye Robinson. He's a superstar X factor, right? You gotta, this is why you have players like him, is so he can get open and make big time plays at moments like that. And the patience is there. His 2nd touchdown. Let's see if we can get the ball back in the hands of Nick Foles. Not looking great right now. Oh my God. No, see, I had to play that. I had to play because it wasn't going to let us win. Nick Foles with zeros on the clock. That's Nick Foles for you right there. Loss against Dallas, Super Bowl, whatever. We put Nick Foles in. He got 5 touchdowns today. He is going in the echelon. Top 5 rebuild quarterbacks of all time. Nick Foles on the Chicago Bears. It's in stone. What a fucking legend. Let's get into year 5. We actually have money to spend this year, but I mean, again, like Devin, we're not in a panic scenario where we have to get Devin Bush here because Joel, forever known as just Joel, he's been playing well in the sim. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, a Roquan Smith, Devin Bush, but then again, that's so much money invested in the linebacking spot. Outside of that, man, there's like there's just some band-aids at tackle that I'm not really looking for. This is probably the only one that's legit, and I just hate paying for linemen. I don't know, man. I feel like we should finally spend, like, I mean, he's going to be solid. Let's bump that up 5.5, and we'll give him a $3 million signing bonus. We'll take that 4-year, $33.8 million. It just puts us ahead of the Steelers. I don't know if we'll land them, but if so, that's okay business for a right tackle. That'll probably be us for the remainder of the rebuild. Kiss my ass. Can't sign anybody. No one wants to come to Chicago. It's too cold. Oh, really strong in draft here for our final draft of part 1. First round, we had 2 first-round picks because of that trade with the Raiders. First pick from the Raiders, we're able to get Thurman Whitlock, 76 hidden dev corner from Tennessee. Really, really solid-looking player. Our second pick was Harmon Anderson, number 5 in true talent, 77 overall. Normal dev, but could be a successor to Goldman. Eddie Goldman's getting out there in age a little bit. Second round, we got Larry Mccallister, 74 hidden dev linebacker out of Oregon State. Really nice looking player there, 21-2. Got a lot of good football. And other than that, man, I was just trying to fill out our roster. Got a little bit rough here. Tallest punter kind of failed me here a little bit. Even though that's not bad, 65. The stats actually look pretty damn good. But might have to see some of the UDFAs at that punter spot. Because there's 3 other see, this is the problem. You give me a 6'4 punter, usually it's automatic. But there's 3 other 6'4 punters. I guarantee one of them was like a 70 overall. So I'll go double check that out. But I like it. Good draft. Nick Foles' era has ended as we get ready for year 5 final part of part 1. Here's how the team is looking. Still not a lot of stability at the tackle spot. Right tackle, it's not great. Rest of the offense looks good, though. X Factor, Rager got a dev trade increase. Moreau's solid. I mean, he got, almost 900 yards last season, so he's playing well. And Bowman, we're hoping, Rosen as a backup here, but we're hoping pretty much it proves that this Bears offense is QB-proof, and Bowman has a really strong season. He can put himself into superstar dev trade scenario. Speaking of superstar devs, Mosley got one. He has been, honestly, really friggin' good for us. Got him as just like a 76 normal flyer, like our first free agency, and now he's up to a superstar. Whitlock will get some snaps. Amik Robertson, unfortunately, has kind of peaked a little bit for us. Woodard's up to an 85. We got Mccallister waiting in the wings here. Inside, linebacker core is good. Safety core, pretty damn good. I mean, this team's saucy. This is a team extra sauce on your wings. They definitely could compete this year. Because of that linebacker that we drafted, Mccallister, it kind of makes Joel a little bit expendable. And we found the Baltimore Ravens, their biggest need was middle linebacker. Our biggest need was a tackle. So we're able to get Josh Jones, who's actually, like, for this upcoming draft in real life, could be a fringe first-round player out of Houston, but he's going to come in and be a 9-point upgrade when we slide him to right tackle. Let's keep it straight. Year 5, not been good to us. 2-7, not having Nick Foles on the roster. We're bottom dwellers in the North. Bowman, the yards look good. Touchdowns, not so much. I don't know. It's a rough start. It's definitely a rough start. First up, we get Josh Jones. We just traded for him. See if we can lock him up 4-year. Yeah, we'll go 4-year deal, $30 million. That looks good. Eddie Jackson wants a 3-year. Should hold on to his rating fairly well. We'll come back to the table. Mosley's definitely earned himself a new contract, 3 years. Jeremy Chinn's been really strong and really solid for us at strong safety. We probably even knocked it up to 5-year, get it under a $4 million cap hit. Looking at these values here. Really need Robertson could continue to develop. See, we give him a 4-year deal. That cap hit's really low. Stenberg's came out of nowhere, man. He was like, a 65 guard. Be able to grow and develop him. Rager's solid depth. I mean, I really kind of want to hold on to all these guys as much as we can. So, like, looking at who didn't resign, I will come back to the table for Amik Robertson because that's going to ultimately be a really affordable deal. Definitely want to get Eddie Jackson. 1-year deal for Fuller. Seen worse 1-year deals. So, yeah, we'll get Jackson and Amik Robertson lined up. Keeping a lot of names in-house. And to finish out year 5, disappointing season. We had some momentum. I think we won 3 of our last 4 games to finish. I mean, we're still bottom dwellers, but we still have our job. I mean, you pretty much won a Super Bowl. You should have your job for the next, 6 years, especially given where our roster was at. As terms of dev traits, I don't even really remember who we had that had a dev trait. We just played Jamarco Jones. He did play pretty solid at the red tackle spot. Bowman's up to an 83. On the defensive side, we get a corner. Oh, Thurman Whitlock, superstar X Factor, shutdown corner. Hell yeah. Fuller's on these 1-year deals. We have his successor. That's awesome. Probably should have Mccallister playing there the whole time. But yes, I'll take that. That's a big dub. That is a big dub. Did he play? Bowman played second in yards, I guess, the touchdown. Ooh, that's a lot of turnovers. All right, we'll say an up and down year at best, but best football hopefully ahead of him. Running the ball is lackluster. 1,300 yards. Allen Robertson is really, really good. Rager, nice year. Moreau, nice year. Acceptable numbers for everyone else. Defensively, Roquan Smith, 133 tackles. Looks good. 10 sacks. Khalil Mack starting to slip, but he's still looking pretty solid. Woodard, good production. I can't believe we got a superstar X Factor. That's dope. Some silver lining here to this year. NFC Offensive Player of the Year, Russell Wilson. Roquan Smith, hey, Defensive Player of the Year. Still looking for an X Factor for him. And then for your individual awards, nothing. So kind of lackluster way to end probably my favorite episode of a realistic rebuild yet in Madden 20. Obviously with Nick Foles, X Factor, earning superstar X Factor himself, winning us an MVP, Super Bowl MVP. That final run where we had Bowman get us to the playoffs. Then he switched to Foles, and he just was lights out. Really good rebuilds. I hope you guys did enjoy it. We'll be back probably on Saturday with part 2 of this, so make sure you guys tune in for that one. As always, your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. Smash the like button if you enjoyed. Until next time, it's C4 saying peace out.